I'm married to the truth. Yeah, I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Come on. I'm married to the truth. You're always there for me. Yeah, for me. And I know that you care for me. Yeah, for me. You're always down for me. Down for me. You always to give me up. You quench my thirst when I was thirsty. I be like, Lord, please have mercy. Man, homie, when I'm feeling lonely, cause it's the truth that shape and mold me. Truth be told, cause I'm married to it. If it ain't the truth, man, I don't wanna do it. Real love, be official. It bear forgiveness and it be sacrificial. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Yeah, I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Come on. I'm married to the truth. You're always there for me. Yeah, for me. And I know that you care for me.
I'm ready?
You're always down for me. Down for me.
Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning and welcome. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Folks, I want to welcome everybody on my Facebook Live page. Boy, we got a new phone working, so we might be able to get some showtime in today. But I'm going to tell all the people to share it. We got a hot show we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the gun violence in Chicago. I have a special guest, Brother Tyrone Muhammad, who is part of ECCSC, and we're going to talk about that. And also in the studio, I have the beautiful Sonia, how do you say that? Cottrell? I got it. Okay. And she is her and her group is fantastic. If you want to hear a live band play all sorts of old school music, new music, house music, then Soul Street Collective is the band. I'm telling you, I went to see them and I was just blown away. So I have her in the studio. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call friends and let them know you're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Let the truth be told. I would rather for you to hurt me with the truth than comfort me with a lie. I will see you in a second.
Shut-town. Are you ready? Come on. JD on the track. It's your boy Preacher. Yeah. True. Come on. Ain't the truth. Ain't the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Yeah. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Come on. I'm married to the truth.
And welcome back. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. First, I want to give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Yahshua, for making it possible for me to be here. My Facebook fans, my regular listeners, welcome. What we're going to start talking about today is this. The violence in the city of Chicago is at an all-time high. I've been privileged to sit on some of the ministers' conference that's in throughout the city of Chicago. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was at the South Cook Ministers Conference led by Bishop Owens, and we had A.R. Leak to come in. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, I was there to speak about things going on in the black community. And one of the things that I was talking about at that time was the fact that they're making this gay law that's going to make it mandatory for our children from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, make it mandatory for them to learn about the gay history and lifestyle. So I was at the ministers' conference talking to the pastors about we need to address this issue. It should not be a mandatory type thing, but it's something that we need to have optional. But before I continue, my lovely guest, Miss Sonia, introduce yourself to Intellectual Radio.
So I'm Sonia from the band Soul Street Collective. We're comprised of 7 members. We got 3 female vocalists, 4-piece rhythm section, very energetic. As Brother David stated, we do a house segment, R&B, old school, new school, neo soul, all the schools.
And boy, they be getting it in. And Brother Malik Muhammad is in the house. He's with ECCSC. We're going to talk about a little bit. Let's go to you, Brother Malik. I'm from Inglewood. I grew up in Inglewood when it was all white, like we was talking before. I watched Inglewood become the black mecca with black businesses, gas stations, the black schools all over window homes. Those schools where black children went to school at got a great education. I'm from public schools. I graduated from high school at 15, not because I was the most smartest person in the class, but I was smart enough to know that the teachers knew something that I wanted to know. And so being in that situation and seeing Inglewood be a powerful community, self-sustaining, own banks, own entrepreneurship. And now I look at Inglewood when I go home, it's a desolate, it's a war zone. Black people are living at the worst at all times. And we have come back to the community to try to help. My foundation, Living and Driving While Black, we've been back helping brothers ex-offenders come home. We've been finding jobs. We've been training, conflict resolution, entrepreneurship. We have been on the front line doing it. And I was pleased to meet another brother, um, Tyrone Muhammad. We met each other in passing. You know, I would be somewhere, he would be somewhere. We would always trade ideas and talk about Inglewood. So I'm very honored to have Brother Malik in here to talk about what the organization does. You want to give us a little bit spiel about what they do?
Okay, ECC stands for ex-cons for community and social change. With that being said, every last one of us, Brother Tyrone Muhammad, Lionel Muhammad, who is the national minister. You have Brother Vic, Brother KG, and myself, Malik Muhammad. All of us had done time in the penitentiary. So what we did was when we came out, because you got a lot of people saying, man, when guys go to prison, they come home, they crazy, they gay, and everything under the sun. But we came to bust up that falsehood.
Yes, sir.
And show truth with actions, not just talking. So I done 20 years in the penitentiary myself. I think Tyrone done 21 years. But during our incarceration, we studied books. What we realized, the books that we read in prison wasn't written in prison. So it kept our mind on the opposite side of the fence.
Right, right.
So when we came home, we started going back to the communities, giving back, connecting with the what we call shorties, like what you talking about with your same thing, connecting with jobs and stuff like that. You know, and just showing the shorties by example what a real man is. No matter what you've been through, you can always make it. Because why did God allow people to go through what they go through? So you can find ways to refurbish yourself to help others who share the same pain.
And that's important. I realized that I did a prison ministry with the first chief chaplain of the state of Illinois. That was William Watts. And I used to go to all the prisons and I would go out to the brothers. I was also an officer of task.
Okay.
And we had a program called Safe Return. And we would go 30 days before the brothers would get out. And from that point, what we would do is enroll them into the program. And then once they got out the program, we had job opportunities lined up for them just as soon as they came home. And we continue to teach them, you know, conflict resolution, resume writing, I mean, all the things that you needed to survive in this society for brothers coming home. We talked to them about expungements. So these things are important for our brothers because I take a look at it kind of different. Um, I take a look at some of our brothers that have went to jail as prisoners of war.
Oh yeah, ain't no doubt.
And the reason why I say that is because this crooked system was pitted against us. And so you could just spit on the ground. When Bill Clinton made the three strikes is out, they was looking to lock brothers up for 3 speeding tickets if they could get it, you know? And so that situation spun us into where we're at right now. And so for us as black people, it is on us to save ourselves. What do you think, Brother Malik?
I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna just go back to the prison for 1 second. When you look at the what it says on the front of that building, it says correctional facility, but the place is just a building. It doesn't correct you. During our
Exactly.
incarceration, we had to correct ourselves. So, like during my incarceration, I figured out how to write poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So, working on my first book at the moment. Been to Hot Sauce Poetry,
Mm-hmm.
done a few shows over there. We're gonna put together some concerts pretty soon for ECCSC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the reason I'm throwing that out there is a show, no matter where you are, you can make it. We got to save ourselves. Didn't nobody do it for me, Tyrone, the sister right here. We had to do it for ourselves. So we got to lead by example, man. And like you said earlier, when you show the shorties how to write resumes,
Yeah.
deposit money in the banks, how to budget, how to go out and buy real estate below market value or anything, or even get your first apartment, it don't even matter. How to buy a car instead of trying to buy something you can't afford. You
Well,
know
you
what I'm
know,
saying?
you're so right about that because as a reentry coach, even the smallest things like getting a social security card,
Yes, sir.
getting licensed, coming back home, trying to reacclimate yourself back into the society because everything has changed.
Yes, sir.
It's not the same. So um, it's a great works that we on the front line that we trying to do. And we run into a lot of resistance as well. And but we also know that what has happened to the black community is that each one of us have been fighting our own separate battles. You know, your organization fighting, my organization fighting, other brothers' organization fighting. We're fighting in separate silos. And so the enemy is a unified clan. And so they can knock us off one by one. But what we're seeing now is organizations like yours, mine, Brother Tyrone Muhammad, us coming together, getting in the same room and bringing all our resources together, and we do what we do best. It's all about black people right now. A lot of people want to say, well, Brother Dave, you racist. I'm not a racist. I love my people just like white people love white people.
Not to cut you off, but I heard one wise brother say this. They told him he was racist too. He said, "Yeah, I am racist. If you study science, you're a scientist. So if you study your race and figure out how to cultivate your race, then yeah, you racist." So he turned it into a positive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, we're going to take a quick break. My guest is here. I want to welcome Brother Tyrone Muhammad to the studio.
What's up, black man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Excellent.
So,
How you doing?
come on right
Hello,
now.
how are you?
Shut town. Are you ready? Come on. JD on the track. Your boy Preacher. Yeah. True. Come on. True.
I'm married to truth.
I'm married to the truth.
I'm married to truth.
Yeah.
And welcome back. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Folks, I'm excited, man, to have my brother in the studio with me. Doing this Nehemiah project. The pastors asked me to get brothers to come.
Yeah.
The brothers on the front line. And so I told them, I said, well, I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna call some brothers I know out here that's on the front line like me. And we're gonna come and we're gonna discuss the real thing. Because see, I've been telling the pastors, you can't solve crime if you don't have the people committing the crimes in the table.
No doubt about it.
But first, I want to introduce my brother Tyrone Muhammad. Welcome to IntellectualRadio.com, brother.
Thank you, Brother Dave.
God bless you, man. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, Tyrone Muhammad, Executive Director of ECCSC, that's Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. So when you see ECCSC, similar to what you're saying, myself, Vic, that's over here with the camera, then you got Malik right here.
Mhm.
You talking about over 60 years of prison time in this room right now.
Exactly.
I did 21 years myself. So sitting in those cells, preoccupied with time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one thing time does is teaches you observation. Those who have, that's God.
That's God.
God
Yeah.
observe.
Right, exactly.
If you observe nature, you observe everything. Like I tell people now, and I get back to that. When you observe nature, people always say, the biggest animals in the world don't eat meat.
That's true.
Hippos, elephants, gorillas, cows. The cow eat the grass, we
And we
eat the cow and
Yeah.
wonder why we dying.
Yeah,
There must
but
be
true.
something in the grass.
Right. Well, they put
Because the
chemicals in there.
sun has photosynthesis that create all the nutrients and the vitamins that ends up in the ground. That's where our food come from.
Exactly.
The earth. So we read these scriptures, we read these books, and human beings are the only one who deviate from the nature. Only ones.
Well, we're supposed to be the most intelligent.
But yet, so with that being said, observation, sitting in the prison, observing our sons coming in and out while I'm waiting to be released over 2 decades. And I determined that this not changing. Our condition is not changing. For one, we as brothers incarcerated have to take personal responsibility for our sons coming in and out these prisons. What I mean by that is I understood that pastors, politicians,
Yes, sir.
and so-called benevolent white folks, we can't wait for them to save us, bro. And as I said before, you have a church on every corner, and
That's
you
right.
got conditions of our people on every corner.
Well,
The conditions is winning over these individuals who claiming to be anointed and appointed.
but you know what I loved,
Mhm.
when I invited you,
Yes, sir.
we talked about 15 to 20 minutes, and I told these pastors, I said, look, man, y'all, first of all, let me apologize to your generation.
Yes, sir.
I'm 62.
Yes, sir.
My generation opened up the doors, but you know what? We got to be to the place where we got all the material stuff. They tricked us and told us you just got to send your kids to college. So our generation dropped the ball because we should have took it to the next level. And that should have been economics. But because a few of us did make it, then we forgot where we came from. And your generation suffered behind it because the doors was closed. So when you came to the meeting, I see myself
Yes, sir.
in you.
Yes, sir.
Because when I was your age, I was like that.
Yeah.
And it took a person like me now, when I grabbed you and said, brother, guess what? I know you don't want to come. And I know you disenchanted with the leadership. But at the same time, if we're going to win the war, we're going to need some of them with us because they can provide provisions. And after I said that, the brother came and he spoke and he talked about all the things. Just let them know what you talked about.
Well, the bottom line is this, and just letting the people understand how ECCSD came about. Because we got tired of waiting on these individuals who have are self-appointed leaders of our communities.
Yep.
We suffered under that so-called self-appointed. They dropped the ball on us and our generation, because you know what I told them, they was a part of the Clinton crime bill. That generation
Yes,
in
they
that
were.
room, bro, is the same generation that backed Clinton
Yes, he did.
as they decided to snatch us off
The streets.
Yep.
Yep.
For gang, drugs, and violence.
Yep.
It hasn't changed, gang, drugs, and violence, because we having as black men taking personal responsibility.
Yes.
So ex-cons for community and social change is saying that we are the ones most suited, best qualified to take care of that which we had a hand in destroying, and that is our communities. And we allowed our sons and daughters to run in the land. We lions. We allowed our sons and our children, because we're afraid of them, to run the earth like little nomads, terrorizing our women and children, while we as men sit back and watch. So coming out, I said I would no longer I would not allow that. We're going to take personal responsibility, and wherever help we find, resources we find, we welcome it, but we're not waiting on them to do for us what we should do, for ourselves, and we're more than capable of doing for ourselves. And being in that room with all these pastors who claim to have flocks and leadership, there's no way we should be talking about going anywhere for help when we have it right in all these congregations.
Yes. And you know, that was the thing that when A.R. Lee came to the ministers' conference talking about this Nehemiah project, that was the thing that should happen a long time ago. You said something that was very powerful at the meeting, was that we have 3 or 4 churches on the block, a couple of liquor stores, and 1 dope man. And the church ain't winning.
The church ain't winning.
And so by the church being the hub in the community, it should take the lead in the forefront and stop a lot of the foolishness that this white America is putting into the black community.
Well, you can't stop foolishness if it's not if God hasn't appointed you to be that steward.
There you go.
God say in the Bible, if they read it, they're going to allow them to wander off for 40 years in the wilderness and die off. And then he was going to give the kingdom to them. So what you see now is the process of dying off. So they don't respect the elders. And then it won't be long before they start coming in the church and robbing the church. Oh, this is where the tithe and the tithe is being gathered.
Right.
This is where the money changers are gathered.
That's right.
So the shorties, y'all need to go in them and start turning over tables and get what's yours. See, they using 501c3s.
Yes, sir.
They using those laws and using those financial loopholes to enrich themselves, while the community suffer, while the young brothers and sisters in the community, they suffer, killing one another because of a lack of knowledge, while those in authority claiming to have knowledge never go to the streets like Jesus.
That's right.
And Jesus wasn't in the church.
No, he was his church was the 4 walls of the world.
And what was the name of Jesus' church?
The world.
And what was the name of Jesus' religion? I am that I am.
Yep.
So we got 90,000 denominations. Church under the sun and the moon. Church under the Christ under the ground. Church over the water, over the hill. Church Baptist Christ under Jesus, under the sun, on the rock, in the mountain, on the valley. And what is that, man?
And the condition of a community. And this is why I say it's so powerful what you said. And what it did was it brought us together. See, brother, I've been fighting this fight.
Yes, sir.
We have bumped into each other at different affairs and seen each other, but we never really sat down and talked. See, and then this is what I love about God, is that when I needed somebody to call, and I had talked to you a few months ago.
Yes, sir.
I said, you know what? Me and this brother need to sit down. I need to have him with me, and I need to have him speak to these ministers, because when I come up and say that, they say, Dave, you're just radical. Times done change. That hard attitude.
These are radical times.
Yeah, that hard attitude, man. You catch more bees with honey than you do vinegar. And I'm saying, who gives a damn about the bees?
Right.
You know, if we got to do what we got to do to make changes, then that's what we got to do. So what I see God is doing is this. He's separating the sheep from the goat.
Yep, and the wheat from the tare.
And the wheat from there. And putting us together. I have a lot of resources, just like you.
Yes, sir.
I've been in corporate America 15 to 20 years. I left because of the things I saw, how black brothers, let me tell you this story. I was at Union Pacific Railroad doing a presentation. My company sold IBM ThinkPads. I made over $300,000 every other month to be exact.
Yeah.
Okay. I was in the bathroom in the stall. This is a true story. I heard two men talking. And I'm thinking, boy, these white boys sure in here chattering their ass off. When I came out the stall, it was two black men. And I was saying to myself, brothers, we got to stop assimilating our lifestyles on who we are just to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
See, I make my own money. They can't affect me.
Right.
Okay? And a lot of brothers like you and me who've been down that road who's saying, you know what, we're going to do something different because we're not going to have our hands held by these white folks to stop us from helping our people.
Yes, sir.
So that's what God is doing. He putting together, I'm a different generation. You're a fighter from your generation.
Yes, sir.
We need each other.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I say, even though the ministers won't come around to us, there are some. Because after we left, believe me, after my brother spoke, they was upset with me.
For bringing me, huh?
Yeah. You know, you asked me, you say, Dave, well, we need to go get the brothers out there on the front line. And I was like, okay, the meeting before that on Thursday. I was like, no problem. So I started calling the brothers up and I said, well, okay, they're going to come. And then when the brothers got there and they spoke and they told the truth, it hit them over the head with that hammer, especially when you told Leaks you was part of that mass incarceration. Right. You went on the tube. Yeah. You talked about it.
And you was over the county jail and was no change. It actually increased. Quit playing, people.
Yeah, yeah.
Quit playing. Listen, man, we gonna have to tell the truth to power.
That's
How
right.
you expect to tell the truth to the white man and you ain't even man enough to tell the truth to the people that you claim to be leaders in your community?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if it's Farrakhan, and who is my father and I love, or if it's A.R. Lee. Danny Davis, them, Bobby Rush, them. These
Lord,
men been in position of power and authority forever. At what point do you pass the torch to your son?
And that,
at what point?
But you know what? That is the destruction of the black community. Let me say this. That's just like Jesse and Al Sharpton, right?
Yes.
I worked with Al Sharpton in 2000 as a national crisis director.
Right.
Every place that we went, the younger people gravitated to me because I was speaking the language that they could hear.
Yes, sir.
Al was talking about other stuff, money and all of this and that, but he wasn't talking about healing the black community the way I was. Mm-hmm. Do you know, after a couple of years, me and Al went our separate ways because of the fact that what I was doing, he wasn't trying to do.
Yeah.
It was all front. It was all about a front to get black people to let their guards down, to give him money. It was all about a front to get major cases. And then when they get the cases, they wanted to charge people money. They was doing everything to create the illusion of helping black people. And when I found that out about that, brother, I had to separate myself.
Wow.
Okay? So God says that if people that's doing evil, you have to separate yourself. So when I separated myself from Al and Jesse and all the rest of them, that's when I came up with the Living and Driving Around Black Foundation. And we have taken it serious. The living conditions and driving conditions are worse for the black people on the face of this planet.
Man, no doubt about it.
I take it serious. We use lawyers. We write legislation. I wrote the racial profiling bill that Obama claimed that it is. That ain't his. I wrote that. I wrote House Bill 5665 that alerted Lisa Madigan's office to start filing lawsuits against Wells Fargo and the banks. I did this all under the leadership of the NAACP. And when I started doing great things, they wanted to get rid of me too. Because none of these organizations that are getting money from the enemy is going to support somebody that's trying to do the right thing. What you think, bro?
Bro, that's absolutely right. Let me just give you an example. When I watch white folks who actually love their children, I don't care if they're on drugs, what it is that they on. They're gonna go to the depths of the earth to find a specialist to save their son and daughter. And even when that fail, This man said he was a specialist and they still couldn't help them overcome heroin addiction. They going to find another specialist.
Exactly.
We the only people that allow outsiders to come in our community and tell us what we need and how that look like. We will give private organizations millions of our TIF money, our tax dollars, to say that they're gonna create a violence prevention for us.
When they're perpetrating it.
When they forefathers and parents, the very system that they come from is the reason we have all of these issues. What I'm saying is, how you figure a white man like a Arnie Dawkins, Craig, would be the savior to prevent violence in our community when he don't know what that looks like, never lived with that, or been in the prison system as a result of the issues he had to face from living in an environment. See, the resources that they're giving away, our people are not wise enough or smart enough to demand that they go to the right individuals who can have the proper effect and effect.
Exactly.
So if I created I won't say I created it. If I was a part of the ignorance that perpetuated violence, how is it that you think this man? I'm in here with a group, and my Vic over there, he'll tell you we are part a third or a tenth a part of from the 80s to the end of the 90s. The reason why Inglewood looked the way it looked. Yep. In terms of violence and crime.
Now, let me give you a prelude to Inglewood.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, Inglewood was predominantly white, and white folks ran us, the few blacks. They ran us from school. We couldn't go to Sherman Park, only to the first bridge. We couldn't go to the library. We couldn't even go to the swimming pool, even though it was a public swimming pool, because whites would jump on us. As time went on and more black families moved into Inglewood, Inglewood at one time under the leadership of my grandmother, Eloise Barton, was the black Mecca of Chicago. We had black stores, black service stations. I mean, you didn't see all these Arabs and all these other type of people in Inglewood. 63rd was booming. I mean, it was all black. Y'all caught that tail end of it. We had black movies. Everything was black owned and operated. It wasn't until it started probably in the late 80s when people like my grandmother got older. They started to pass the torch on. They passed away. Then they put the younger generation of politicians from family members into office. Right. They didn't do nothing.
Right.
Howard Brookins, Rod Sawyers, you know, all of them. They sit and they hold the office. Bobby Hush Rush, all of them. Even Danny Davis, they've stayed too long in office. That's just like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali stayed in the ring too long, and what happened?
Punch drunk.
He got punch drunk. So that's what happened into our community. These bad politicians stand in office, and they still in office, and the community is dying. So what our mission is one of the things we got to do. We got to organize our people. We got to put us a candidate together and go out in droves and vote him into the office like we did with Stephanie Coleman in the 16th Ward.
Well, we had to change the politics altogether. You cannot be an alderman or one man in our communities doing the bidding of white folks. You can't do that. And the generation I want to create and build are gonna be the same generation that's gonna knock on your front door and be outside your house. We ain't going downtown no more. Because all politics is local.
That's right.
We going right outside and we're gonna knock on your doggone door. You live in the community. We want to know how you think it's okay for you to live in peace and safety while we here ducking bullets and dodging and living in poverty. That don't make sense. How do you not feel the pain of the people you represent? And furthermore, no one is gonna be free to say they follow Christ, Muhammad, Moses, Jesus, Buddha, Yahweh, and the space marshal.
Yeah.
Nobody is gonna be able to say they follow these entities without showing your works.
That's right.
You're not going to have a church in the community, man, talking about you serve the people and we not hold you accountable for what you said. We building an army, we building a team,
That's right.
and them young folks, we're going to start saying, they the reason
Yes, sir.
y'all in the condition. These old folks right here, line them up. These old folks is the reason why y'all in the condition y'all in. You can blame them shorties all you want. People, there's no heroin poppy seeds grown in Inglewood or Lawndale. There's no coca leaf manufactured into cocaine from Lawndale or Inglewood. There's no Smith & Wesson's long extended clips that you kill in the community with and guns manufactured in Inglewood and Lawndale. Our generation, your generation, them elders are so busy and preoccupied with judgment of their sons and daughters and cousins, but they don't never focus on the root. Only want to deal with the fruit.
That's right.
And then they deal with the seed. So I might be the fruit, and them shorties might be the seed.
That's right.
Those individuals that look around, man, they don't know what's happening because they don't know the root. The root is slavery. And you're not going to tell me that being a pastor, being given the Bible was a reason for our rise and our salvation. It wasn't. Other than that, Nat Turner wouldn't have had to do what he did. Right. The pastors and the politicians have always been an anchor around black communities and black people.
That's for sure.
Even if you say all of them not bad, that's just like saying all the police ain't bad, but they under the same system, so all of them are bad because they have to overthrow the system. And the few that's inside is not coming to court saying, I saw the police do X, Y, and Z.
Well, and you know,
I saw these pastors doing X, Y, and Z. And you can stop saying that. That's just like me qualifying, saying, I ain't against all white people. Just we know that. We know all ain't all or nothing.
That's right.
We need to stop saying that. When we say pastors, I don't see other pastors condemning pastoral or whatever they want to use, language they want to use. I don't see them condemning them for the issues and the ills of their community or their church and them not having outreach. Just like you don't see a police officers condemning the police.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same game. And I told you, the Christians are a gang, sorority, fraternities, and our cliques and fashions, Muslim, Mason, and Eastern Stars, just as them little brothers are cliques and tribes. Don't get mad at them because they following you.
And it's all the same because, when you hit a point when you said fraternities and sororities, they got special handshakes.
Man,
they got special signs.
They folks.
Exactly.
They people.
Exactly.
They want to say that.
But at the same time, a lot of those brothers,
and they said trip.
A lot of those brothers scared to come back home, man.
No question.
Scared to come back home.
We don't want them.
But you know what?
We don't want
them. Wait a minute.
We don't. We radical. What this called? What's the name of it?
Let the truth be told.
All right, then. We don't want them. They tainted. They listen, man. They got to walk over the hot coals of hot desert sand to get back to the hood. And if they ain't ready to walk over the coals, then they can't come back. Well, we don't want them.
Let me say this. A few months ago, I put
a
post out about fraternities and sororities.
Yeah.
Believe me, I don't have nothing against them brothers. But all I'm saying is this. When you get that white man's education and you get his job, you've already enslaved yourself in the mind because you're not going to do nothing to change that. And so I put a post out about them being a product of the problem in the black community, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, don't you know them brothers was hitting me up, talking this, saying that he must be jealous, blah, 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 blah. No, I wasn't jealous. I'm one of them street brothers that you're scared of.
Yes,
so you better wake up and recognize and be careful about the things you see and the things that you post, because I don't know no other brothers that I can come and say, brother, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we got to ride or die on a situation. I know brothers like that.
So listen, man, the only reason I mess with you in that sense and came because you called is because we feel you got that connection. You You have to, there's elevation, just like the younger brother is not gonna have my spirit, and I'm not gonna have your spirit, and you don't have those elders.
Exactly.
So there's a level in a hierarchy of what this is that God is trying to do for us. He gives you everything you need to create your freedom, but you see it as a curse. They see it as a curse. Them young brothers out in the street killing each other are warriors and they fearless. They don't even care about that. See, when you kamikaze,
that's right.
You know why the Japanese was so dangerous?
Because they didn't mind dying for their cause.
You know why the Arabs and the terrorists, so-called terrorists,
because they would put a bomb on them and run into your house.
Anytime you would kill yourself,
that's right,
to make a point, that says to me that you believe in something greater than yourself. And you can never be the person like that. I don't care what you call it, because we too preoccupied with having sex, eating food, drugs, living life, partying, drinking fine wine, eating good cheese,
wearing all those special clothes,
nice Gucci and Prada. We too busy with our rims, our cars, our shoes, to even have a real systemic and lasting effect and change on these people. So when men rise up that don't care nothing about their own personal gain, that's dangerous, because all these black gatekeepers ain't focusing on the white man, because he has no power to do nothing to me or you or nobody. Black men has always, and some women now, and as I pointed out, we have all women in power now.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to see now what they have to say, so we can show them, sister, you caught up in the same system that has demoralized and debased your black man, and you supported that. As well.
And that the divide and conquer situation has been one tool that white America has used in the black community and against everybody.
Yes, sir.
They put it out there, okay? But just like the Hispanics, they started to overcome, because they started 15 in one house. They buying up blocks. They all buying houses. They're starting businesses. They're doing everything that black people used to do.
But look, black people didn't necessarily used to do it. They was forced to do it. Mexicans do it because they love to do it. That's a difference.
That's the difference.
When you judge and say what they doing and you glorify, and when I say you, I mean the people, glorify what Mexicans are doing as a whole, they fail to understand that there's no people in the history of time that has lost his morals, his folk ways, his name, his religion, his God, his culture, and we don't even know where we come from.
Nobody but us, man.
We don't even know. So when you judge people in relationship to our greatness and who we are after going through all we've been through and all the systematic stuff in play to destroy us as brothers, from driving while black to the prison industrial complex, to our women being made to be the breadwinner and the caretakers of to our women feminizing their own sons with borettes and long hair, and to all the things that's going on with our people, man. That's systematic. There's got to be an effect, man. It has to be hey, man, it has to be a spiritual force that change that condition, bro, and get us back on track. We on the road. I might not see it in my lifetime, because I don't expect to be here long. With the way I move, I expect for the hate.
Ain't going nowhere.
We ain't no.
Bro, I ain't no fool. I ain't no fool. I know God. I understand God. I think y'all need to look at history. God is not an emotional individual. God don't care about how you feel about the person laying in that casket. God used their example in their body to move the next generation. God will use their example in their body to wake you up.
You're right.
Jesus didn't do nothing to nobody.
And he was dead.
And he on the cross. If Jesus on the cross, if great prophets and messengers before us died.
You're right.
Who are you to talk about when God called you? You cannot coexist in the wicked world that has marginalized and that has brainwashed and tricked our people. in a way that make us envious and hateful of
Each
ourselves and
other.
kind.
Yeah.
And then think that by you being successful, by you speaking for them, that everybody you speak for love you just because you speak the truth. You better ask Dr. King.
Yeah.
Because the moment he died, the movement died.
Sure did.
So you
That
don't
was all
tell
calculated.
me
It was
you
calculated.
don't tell me that you love somebody and you don't pick up the mantle and follow what he built. How you love something and don't care for that which you love, man?
And you know, when that void happened, you had a lot of pretenders to the throne, the Jessies, the Als, all the different organizations jumping up. But nobody, even though they made it seem as though we love black people, we're trying to do this, send us your membership money. We love black people, send us this, give us the tithes. And all of that has culminated to what's happening right
No
now.
question.
No love for each other,
No question.
the separatism amongst the different age groups. Our young people out there, they killing because they don't have no direction.
Man, they killing because they was bred to kill.
That's
They
right.
was bred to kill. You can't hold a person accountable for something he was bred to do. How you gonna tell a pot why he a pot and you made the pot?
That's right.
You the potter. How is it you gonna feed our children Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Where he gets out and kill a woman, you get points for killing a woman. Oh, I'm sorry.
All the
Kill
mindset.
her.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
when you see black women, you
Guess
ain't
what?
creating no game that say open her door,
That's right.
call her queen.
That's right.
Man, to worry about the concern and see the woman as the mother of civilization and the birth canal by which God is created. You not teaching using games like that. Then you
That's
got
right.
grand ops and teaching them how to be soldiers and kill. And a mother would buy that game for her son.
That's right. You're right.
And then every TV show has taught us how to be gangsters and killers.
That's it.
They got a gangster. You glorify prison. Number one show in TV, MSNBC lockup, cops, bad
Oz,
boys.
remember Oz on HBO?
Oz.
Yeah.
The Wire. See, you feed this to us and then tell us because you can't be. See, that's the wickedness.
That's the
Even
wickedness.
as a black producer
Yeah.
or script writer,
Lee Daniels.
you got to go in the trunk too.
Yep.
You going in the trunk. The pastor's going in the trunk. The politicians going in the trunk. The sellout sisters who in position of leadership because of their education.
That's
and the
right.
white man understanding he got to take that sister and prop her up and her femininity and her sense, our love for her, make us not look at her as an enemy.
That's right.
She gonna get it too. Everybody getting it across the board. That's out of order with what we trying to do and feeding our people. When you feed your people, you can lead your people. And if you're talking about you're a leader of a community or a people or a church, and the people not eating,
you ain't feeding
people. Y'all need to get them out of there. I'm gonna tell you, and that's probably half majority of them.
And
ain't that right?
That's the only. It's going to take a cleansing, you know. And when you associated the ministers to the children of Israel that wandered 40 years, and that generation died out before the next generation went over to the supposed promised land.
Right.
So we are seeing that effect now. Quickly, because of time, Minister Farrakhan blocked off Facebook. Right. You know, I hear brothers and sisters out there this morning whining and complaining about it.
Right.
Well, what we gonna do about it is the thing that I'm asking. What are we going to do? Are we gonna shut Facebook down?
Don't do nothing. Let me explain why. Don't do nothing. Because every knock is a boost. Listen, man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that which is not. Listen, he used the devils, the negativity. Listen, sometimes you get more popularity from the negative than you do the positive. How can you accept all the good that comes with your leadership and can accept no bad that arises as a result of your good works?
That's right, brother.
So how is it we don't understand and see that, hey, every time, that's why I didn't change the name of what we are.
That's right.
I didn't say returning citizen for community and social change.
You're right.
I say ex-cons.
That's right.
For community and social change, because the political correct way and on law it said we have been convicted of a crime, so the law continues to hold us as convicts, so we no longer convicted, we ex of our situation,
right?
And ex also represents unknown. It's a double entendre, so we are unknown to society and the masses as it relates to our potential. We leave men up in there, and with unknown tap potential, thousands of brothers, and we let them sit in those cells languishing in what we call a sentences that is put forth by a white man who said, we're going to give your son life in prison for violating a community he don't even live in. But he don't even live in our community, but we let them do that to us.
And the sad thing of it is this, man, that our so-called leaders just sat back, didn't say a word, allowed it to happen. You know, all the things. And let me say this to folks about Donald Trump. I'm tired of black people worrying, talking about Trump.
I'm going to tell Donald Trump on all you so-called Democrats who have taken this government funding and state funding and used it to enrich downtown, make $56 billion worth of downtown construction, and you have left our communities with this so-called TIF thing. Everybody done ran and ate up and devoured our tax dollars and left our cities.
And no contracts going to black.
So Donald Trump, I need to talk to you because these Negroes and these Democrats up here is usurping the government funding for their own purpose, but we haven't received any benefit in the community, but yet they want to call the National Guard some more government resources to fix something that they caused. Donald Trump, I'm gonna call you.
And you know what? It's saying that, man, we running out of time. This is great. I got to have you back on the show.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to thank you, man. You know what, brother?
Now we laughing, but this serious.
It's serious. You know, if you want to, anytime you can come and be a host to my show.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You know, the door is open for that. Any of you guys want to come? Well, we took up so much time, Sonia. Tell the listeners where the band is going to be, and we can have you back next week if you choose to.
Yeah, so we will be.
Tell them a little bit about the band. You got a couple seconds there.
Yeah, once again, the name of the band is Soul Street Collective. 3 female vocalists, 4-piece rhythm section. Very energetic. We do a variety of genres, different sounds. Old school, new school, just the real stuff.
You can sing.
Oh yeah, boy! I'm telling you.
A hum or something.
Because I want to hear you rhyme again.
It's been a great show, man. I'm telling you, I got to have you back next week.
Yes, sir.
Next week. Okay, I want you back. I want your people back. We're gonna finish this up. We hope that, and what I'm trying to do now is, even though a lot of times I come out and people think, oh, he's so wild, he's rambunctious, but I be trying to tell the truth. It sounds funny, but it's real. It's refreshing to be with brothers around me, because see, our army is locked up and we got to get them out.
That's the greatest song.
Once we awaken the sleeping giant and we get our brothers and sisters, we can take our communities back. We can have our own banks, stores. I mean, everything. That's where we got to go. And at some point, we're going to have to separate ourselves from those around. You're listening to Intellectual Radio. The last words, Brother Muhammad, quickly.
Oh,
okay. We got to wrap it up. Thank y'all for listening, man. Facebook Live, we're going to keep it going. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and peace.
I'm married to truth. I'm married to truth. I'm married to the truth. Yeah, I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Come on. I'm married.